Cowboys fans crashing out right now over the drama in Big D. Star pass rusher Micah Parsons has officially requested a trade via his social media on Friday. "I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys," he posted. "My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally." Former Cowboy Marcus Spears, care to share your thoughts?
But Lord have mercy, do we have a problem if he's serious? Do we have a problem if you can't get this back to where he is actually wearing that uniform? He's the best player on the team, on a team that is absolutely going to need him with a brand new head coach. But here's the other issue I have. Why can't we ever just have a normal offseason with training camp, get ready for the season, go into the season and play football games? This stuff affects the winning. It affects the team and how they actually play football. What's the definition of a damn fool? Doing something over and over again and thinking something is going to change. So here we are again, like last year with CeeDee Lamb, like the year previously with Dak Prescott. Here we are again with the marquee star on the defensive side of the football, and it's going to lead to us having a conversation sometime in November and December about why the hell the Dallas Cowboys not a contender to get into the playoffs.
This offseason has...
In Dallas, star edge rusher at the Star, Micah Parsons, has requested a trade away from the Cowboys. Parsons admitted frustration last week with the lack of contract extension progress. Adam Schefter, why has this amplified to the point of a trade request?
There's been no contact in recent months about a contract at a time where we've seen Max Crosby get paid. We've seen Myles Garrett get paid. We've seen TJ Watt get paid. And we have not seen Micah Parsons get paid. Not only have we not seen him get paid, we haven't seen or heard about any conversations between the two sides. And we said this all week long. But essentially, the sides right now have been further apart today in early August than they were in early April.
CBS Sports HQ as we take the talk to the center of the Star, where on Friday, the Star edge rusher requested a trade. With negotiations at an apparent impasse, Micah Parsons breaking glass in case of emergency. Jerry Jones speaking with the media for the first time since.
The facts are that that's like anything else. I think the world of Micah, and that's just part of negotiation.
Would you ever consider trading Micah?
Again, I don't really place that with any real seriousness. Micah's got a bad back. That's like being traded.
You talk about 30 years of these types of scenarios. Is there really nothing different about this one from the others?
Well, it's just that you've seen it so often, and you've seen it with other clubs. You go through the process. It's a highly sensitive time when you're guaranteeing somebody almost $200 million. That's sensitive stuff.
When he put out the note yesterday saying he'd asked for a trade, did that make you angry?
Not a bit. Not a bit. I can't tell you how many hundreds of times I've heard that negotiation. Frankly, I could be any place in the world. And I want to be right here. I want to be right here with camp. I enjoy these players. I enjoy Micah. But as always, in any relationships, there are different moods at different times of your relationship. That's what it is. Don't lose any sleep over it. I think the world of Micah. He's an outstanding player. He can really help us, but he's got to fit in with what's in the best interest of the team, and that's what the negotiation's all about.
And thus the saga continues. Always something to talk about with Jerry Jones at the mic. Bryant McFadden here to offer his thoughts. Mac, there's a lot to unpack within those comments. On one side, I did hear him alluding to a guaranteed number. On the other, not really substantiating this request for a trade. What do you read between the comments here from Jerry Jones' most recent statement?
Well, clearly there's a disconnect in terms of the value of the player that we're discussing. And when you hear Jerry Jones speak, number one, he said he's not taking this serious at all. So he heard the request, but he's like, I'm not really believing it. That's number one. Number two, he stated, Joe, that it's up to Micah to fit in, and he has to be willing to do what's best for the organization. Now, in terms of fitting in, Micah doesn't need to fit in because his place is already cemented, not just within the Dallas Cowboys organization, but throughout the entire NFL landscape in terms of what he does and how well he does it. He's a professional sacker of the football. He go get quarterbacks. He hunt quarterbacks, and he's done it at a high rate. So when you look at the other negotiations that Jerry Jones has been a part of most recently, it's safe to say those players were not as high valued as Micah Parsons currently is. And those players got the top level deal. They reset the market. And those players that I'm mentioning, CD Lamb, Dak Prescott, they set the market. They reset the market. So if you look at Micah Parsons, and I think if you were to ask a room full of 100 faithful football fans, where would Micah Parsons be ranked in terms of his player position compared to the other players that sign new deals that's a part of the Dallas Cowboys? Micah would be higher. So if you're Micah, you want the same grace that Dak Prescott received in resetting the market. You want the same grace that CD Lamb received in resetting the market. And it's not about wanting it, it's about deserving of getting that. He is deserving of seeing that. So that's the frustration that Micah has been dealing with that led to him making that request that he made on Friday. And so for Jerry Jones' side of things, you can say whatever you want to say, Jerry Jones, but you made Dak Prescott the highest paid quarterback when he signed his deal. You made CD Lamb the highest paid quarterback when he signed his deal. Don't change your mindset now with Micah Parsons, who's clearly deserving of having that same financial grace.
You use the word grace so eloquently, and next to grace is always poise, Mac. We're looking at the list of players, the highest paid at the position. How much poise has Micah Parsons shown in this negotiation? He could have been hollering for his money last year, and Jerry would have been better off paying him because this is fresh money on this list outside of Nick Bosa. It would have been a much smaller number. What do you make of the poise by the player in this negotiation, betting on himself and knowing someone's going to come to me top of market?
Yo, Joe, he's been the ultimate professional, man. I mean, when the season ended for the Dallas Cowboys, we knew Micah was destined to try to get a new deal done. We knew that. Like you said, going back a year ago, he was, there were rumblings about trying to get a new deal. It didn't happen. He came, played, put forth another high-level type of season. So now when 2024 was over, it's about what is next. We knew he needed to get a deal done. He didn't go ahead and become a distraction. Heck, getting ready for training camp, he showed up. Even though he wasn't participating, which is the best business thing to do, he was there. He was communicating with the coaches. He was talking with his teammates. Heck, I was at Dallas Cowboys training camp a few days ago. His teammates had nothing but great things to say about him being there and getting the mental reps. He's been a professional. In terms of turning the game tape on, that same professional shows up in between the lines. So for now, for Micah Parsons to be in this situation, it makes no sense because they could have paid him before Max Crosby read up. They could have paid him before Danielle Hunter read up. They could have paid him before Myles Garrett read up. They could have paid him before TJ Watt read up. And you heard what I said, read up, meaning they got a new deal. Micah Parsons is still on his rookie deal. He's still on his rookie deal. The players that I just mentioned, those edge rushers, they got new deals on a new deal that they were recently given. So this makes no sense. And I can say this much. They're going to pay Micah Parsons. They're going to pay him. But this makes no sense for him to continue to wait like he's waiting for an Uber driver to get home. No, he should have his personal driver already getting him where he needs to be because he's that type of player. No waiting should be involved.
Couldn't agree more. The consummate professional Micah Parsons in this negotiation. Our professional Bryant McFadden bringing us all the latest from across the country. Thank you, Mac. All right, here's a look at those sack numbers. First 4 seasons, you don't have to look very far. Reggie White, one of the greatest of all time. Derek Thomas, put him on that list as well. Our colleague, J.J. Watt, 57 in his first 4. Micah Parsons not far behind with 52 and a half and looking for maybe that many per year. I'll stop. Still to come.
Back here on CBS Sports HQ, where just yesterday, Dallas Cowboys star pass rusher Micah Parsons formally requested a trade from the team. He released a very lengthy statement saying that his representation has tried to talk repeatedly to the front office and Jerry Jones about the contract. Negotiations have apparently stalled between both Parsons and the team, and now he wants out. Earlier today, head coach Brian Schottenheimer spoke to the media about the Cowboys situation with Micah.
I've talked to Micah. I've talked to all of our guys, and great conversations. Not going to share with you guys what he and I talked about, but again, I know you guys are going to ask it. I get that. I'm not going to continue to talk about Micah's contract situation. A lot of great things going on. I get it. Seriously, you guys have a tough job to do, and you're going to get bored with this press conference if we keep asking it. But again, had great conversation with him. You know, you guys know me. I'm transparent. I talk to all of our guys. Always have, always will, and good conversations.
I feel like it will be a distraction in any sort of way because of obviously we're reporting about it and he's a high-profile player.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think, look, our guys are focused on what we're trying to build. They're focused on what we're trying to build on the field and the meeting rooms. As we get closer to a game week, it's kind of exciting, and got the Rams coming in here next week. So there's plenty of things for us to focus on. We're almost through the install. So, I don't think so. Look, it's going to be talked about. We've talked about it anytime you're sitting in this chair with this organization. There's going to be things that are hot topics amongst the masses. But our guys have a very singular focus, and that's getting better and getting ready to have a hell of a practice today.
All right, for much more on this, let's go ahead and welcome in our own Bryant McFadden. B-Mac, let's just start with your initial reaction to what we heard from first-year head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer there.
Well, he said all the right things. I mean, in terms of Shotty, this is not his problem. He did not create this problem. But unfortunately, he's having to answer questions concerning his star player and the lack of an extension getting done, especially throughout training camp. So he handled that presser as best as could be. Even though he didn't create this problem and he's not the main individuals that's involved in these contracts. Head coaches they coach ball. They can give their input about what players should receive what deal, but at the end of the day, it's up to the front office officials, it's up to the GM, it's up to the owners, and clearly we know who has the say so in terms of those discussions. But unfortunately, it's up to Shotty to answer the questions concerning the most recent news with Micah requesting a trade.
Yeah, Coach Schottenheimer certainly knows his place when it comes to this situation in particular. Now, the Cowboys, B-Mac, are under no obligation when it comes to trading Micah Parsons. Do you see a scenario in which they kind of patch things up?
No question. They better find a way to patch things up. You don't trade a prime time player, a 5-star player in the prime years of his career because you cannot get a deal done. Oh, by the way, Jordan, he is deserving of asking for whatever it is he is asking for. He is the best player on their team. I'm not going to say the most important because we know how valuable the quarterback is, but in terms of the best player, that's Micah Parsons. So it's alarming that he's been waiting this long to get a deal done. It's alarming that he's had to request a trade to try to initiate something getting done sooner than later. And if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, enough is enough. Let's get something done so he can get on the grass to get out there with his teammate. Of course, remember, this is a new playbook as well defensively, Matt Eberflus. So timing is very, very important in terms of the chemistry and the rhythm that needs to be there week one when they trot out on the football field against Philadelphia. So I don't see a case in which the team traded Micah. I do believe they will get a deal done, but it's unfortunate that he's had to come to these measures to try to get something going.
Listen, I think we're all on the same page. They better. I think we all agree with that. We low-key feel a little bad for Cowboys fans right now because it all just doesn't really make sense. But we have to play a little bit of the what-if game here. If they don't patch things up, what team makes sense for Micah Parsons?
Right out here, where I'm located at. with the Raiders. They make perfect sense for a trade with Micah, with the Cowboys for Micah Parsons. And here's why. Earlier in our segment, we talked about defensively. We talked about one name that we know for sure is going to stand up in the paint and deliver the goods, Max Crosby. Outside of that, there's a lot of question marks in terms of defensive playmakers on all three levels. They could utilize a guy like Micah Parsons. And Raider Nation, let me go ahead and paint the picture for you real quick. Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, going at Pat Mahomes, going at Bo Nix, going at Justin Herbert. Heck, you can put me in the secondary. And I can go ahead and maybe get the job done knowing the relentless pressure they're going to put on those said quarterbacks. So it makes sense. And if I'm Pete Carroll, who's in his 70s, even though he acts and he feels like he's in his 50s, he's closer to the end of his coaching career than the beginning. I'm not caring anything about no future picks. Y'all can have whatever it is you need. It's about the here and now if I'm Pete Carroll. So I try to find a way to get that deal done. It's super important to do so. Outside of that, let's keep it out west, because I've been out west all week long, and I'm loving the tall palm trees and the beautiful sunshine. What about another West Coast team, Jordan? What about the Los Angeles Chargers? Let's look at and paint this picture. It's the same division as it is with the Raiders. They're saying some of the same quarterbacks, and they are doing what? They're hunting who? Pat Mahomes. The Chargers, they lost Bosa. They still have Khalil Mack. They could utilize a guy like Micah Parsons in that defense. And if I'm Coach Harbaugh, like I said, you got to go out there and chase Pat Mahomes. I need guys on the defensive side that look like what they hunt. And the last time I checked, Micah Parsons looked like the quarterbacks that he hunt. But get this, he's faster.
Hey, B-Mac, I'm just saying, you're getting Raiders fans fired up here. And I don't know, you might just want to turn around, because you could just ask Max Crosby yourself if he wants Micah in Vegas. That might be the play there. Yeah, he's right behind you. I saw him taking some reps there. So if Micah does get his request and gets a trade out of Dallas, we're talking about some teams. I want to throw out another one in particular. Could we possibly see him in black and yellow? I don't know. Take a listen to this, B-Mac, on what Micah actually said to you back at the Super Bowl.
All right, what about this logo? This ain't a bad logo, Mike.
Steelers?
Yeah, that ain't bad, right?
Nah,
you rock with the Steelers?
Yeah, I do.
I can see you in the Steelers uniform.
I said if I ever return home, it was going to Pittsburgh.
It's Mr. Rooney.
Like I mess with Mike Tomlin the wrong way.
If he ever return, we got a spot. You know we love edge rushers too.
I love the Mr. Rooney in there as well. B-Mac, I don't know. Would Steelers Nation welcome him with open arms?
Would we? Would we?
Next question.
What? I shed a tear right now. I would shed a tear right now if that was to become a reality. Listen, and you know, when I talked about the Raiders and the Chargers potentially needing a guy like Micah Parsons, heck, let's keep it real. There's maybe 30 teams that can utilize Micah Parsons, 31 outside the Cowboys. But if you look at what the Steelers have going on in the division, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Joe Burrow, you got two high-level quarterbacks that play MVP-like year in and year out, not to mention outstanding pass catchers that are surrounding them. You got to find guys that can go get them. And yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have guys already in place. But if there's an opportunity, and I didn't say that, he gave me that.
Yeah.
He said if I ever was to go home, PA, Western PA, I would go to the Steelers. I didn't force that to him. He gave me that, so clearly that was already on his good heart before this news came about today. And think about this picture, Pittsburgh. Steeler Nation, you got 90. You know who 90 is, right? That's TJ Watt. You got 11? Whoever has 11, I don't know who has 11, but they got to give it up. TJ Watt and Micah Parsons, along with Jalen Ramsey, Patrick Queen, Darius Slay, Joey Porter Jr. I want to drop the mic, but I want to keep it professional.
No,
I want to keep it professional. I'm not going to drop the mic.
You can do whatever you want, B-Mac. You could do whatever you want. Say less. We hear you. We'll see how this all plays out. I hope you are his first call if that does come to fruition. We'll wait and see. B-Mac, go ahead and enjoy Raiders practice. We know you'll keep us posted on what happens out in Vegas there. And wherever Micah ends up, we know he's going to be due a very big payday. Right now, important to note that he is set to make $24 million this year. But that new payday, could it be more than what TJ Watt just got, which is $41 million annually? Something tells me that's a very good possibility.